guys. How are you? I hope you guys are enjoying summer. I think summer has officially started everywhere as of this week. I know we have some nice warm weather in Minnesota. And I wanted to pop on really fast and talk to you guys about this week's blog post. So every week I do a live video on Facebook and I post, and that's in my Facebook group. And then I post like an IGTV episode for you guys, just kind of talking about the episode or the blog post more in depth and talking about just additional thoughts that I always have after I write it. And this week is a little bit different. A lot of times I'll give you guys very specific, detailed information. I like to research a lot of like studies and show you guys like cases and link to those different like research cases and different studies that pinpoint different toxins and also tell us what is a better option. And this week's a little bit different. I try to mix it up every now and then, and I thought it would be important to write about some of the excuses that not only I had, but excuses that I hear a lot of families kind of come up with when it comes to trying to make healthy changes in their homes. So we have the opportunity really to put whatever we want in our homes. We get the choice. But a lot of times that is slightly dictated by what's available, by what's cost effective, by what other people are doing. And I will tell you that my family and like close friends, I'm probably a little bit more extreme in the sense that I really try to limit what kind of chemicals and products come into our house. Really, I really do. And I try not to let certain foods in our house. And it can get kind of tricky. And so sometimes our choices are dictated by what our family thinks or what our friends do. And that can be a hurdle to get past. So this week, that was not one that I included. So that's like an example of these thoughts I have afterwards. But for me, really, I had a lot of excuses. I didn't realize I had these excuses until later on. And I was kind of thinking about like, why did it take me so long to make this particular change? Or why has it taken me so long to really kind of come to terms with the fact that I really didn't want to use a store-bought cleaner or whatever it may be. So I go through all of those in the blog post this week and talk about the excuses I had. A lot of them stemmed from like the idea that the toxins aren't going to affect me. They're not problematic to me. Like I'm immune from them affecting me. And I think kind of as I did more research and as I saw different studies, it started to kind of click with me that nope, I'm not immune. And so that was like a really big eye-opening thing for me. So that kind of debunked that excuse for myself. For a while, I really thought that it would just be way too expensive. And I will tell you specifically, and this isn't really related to houses, but specifically it had to do with a lot of the food we were eating. And I kind of made the excuse in my head that I just could not buy a lot of organic or like natural food because it was going to be just ridiculously expensive. So twofold, I think actually it's really not. I don't think it's that much more expensive. And second, we just made sacrifices to be able to do that. So we maybe didn't buy something else in order to get, do you know what I mean? Like we kind of said, okay, well, let's really prioritize here because we're fine spending, money going out to eat. What if we just ate in? Or just, you can think about all these different things and you really just have to prioritize it. And same goes like with products for your house. If you're thinking, well, it's just going to be too expensive to buy a toxin-free cleaner, there are so many options out there. And I actually did a post not that long ago where I broke down all of the cleaners for you and like their price per ounce, and it's still cheaper than going and buying like a bottle of Lysol cleaner like for your kitchen, and it's so much better for you. So a lot of these myths about, or like excuses that we make up in our heads, they're not fully factual. Like I don't know where we're getting this information. We're pulling it from different places, but it's not really based on fact. It's kind of based on us just making this excuse up and then going with it. And so I talk a lot about that in this week's blog post. So I have it linked for you guys below. I'm guessing a lot of these excuses maybe you have said yourself. I don't know, maybe you're more just kind of on top of things and ready to like move forward, blazing a trail to a healthier house. But I know for myself, it took a really long time. And there are still things like, oh, we were talking about flooring for our house. That's a huge conversation. And I will be completely honest with you. While I would love to do something completely toxin free, I keep going back to, well, this is going to be a little bit more expensive. Am I willing to spend that? Am I willing to invest that into my house? And so while we haven't decided yet, it's still like a transition in my head to get to that spot. So, you don't have to beat yourself up if you're waffling back and forth on something, but just knowing the facts and knowing how it's going to improve your health, how, certain things can improve your home, help your family. I think that's really important. So, like I said, I have it linked below. I would love to hear what your excuses are. Like, did you have excuses that you kind of came up with in your head when you first started? And sometimes I think too, it helps to know these excuses when maybe you have a spouse or a family member who's just not 100% on board. If you understand those excuses and you know them, then you can kind of help address them with someone else when they have those same concerns about cost, or it's just not going to affect them, or does it really matter if I come in contact with that many toxins because I've been doing it my whole life? Why am I going to change now? That type of thing. So that's the blog post this week. I had a lot of fun writing it. I hope you guys enjoy it, and I will be back again next week with more videos on the blog topic.